Hi there, my name is Nick Dutch and I've been broadcasting on this YouTube channel for a fair while now. I have gravitated towards certain individuals of certain cultures within YouTube, and I've been looking at a lot of the different arguments. I've been finding it fascinating and quite mind expanding, so to speak, a really good education. But once in a while I come across the occasional individual who goes through a temporary lapse of reasoning and logic. And this could be someone who is the highest of the high or the lowest of the low. And these little lapses in reasoning can of course be forgiven very easily. But there's one particular issue I just want to bring up and raise for you. I was recently in a blog TV session with a certain relatively well-known YouTube user. This is an individual who is, I would say, doing rather well for himself. He's got a position of responsibility and authority. And there was some talk about Reiki and the fact that Reiki might possibly be not necessarily the best form of therapeutic treatment, shall we say, although those were not quite the right words or quite the full words that were used in the discussion. Then the issue was turned back to myself as a professional tarot reader, and the statement was that surely what I'm doing is just as bad as some people who say that they can cure all diseases and basically can't. To which I had to point out in quite clear terms what it is I actually do. I work on websites and through companies who have the phrase entertainment only all over them. Alright, you call up on a psychic line, it says this service is for entertainment only, and so on and so forth. Okay, you look at the website to say this is for entertainment only, and so on and so forth. I am hired to be a party entertainer, a party entertainer. This word sort of crops up rather a lot, in my particular industry, because that is what I do. I am an entertainer. Okay, within a niche market, which has certain style and culture to it, yes, but it is still an entertainment service. That is the way that it has to be seen in a clear, rational, and logical and intelligent light. And I also mentioned in this particular blog TV session that this is the way I explain it to my customers, this is the way I explain it to my audience, both on this channel as well as on my other channel, which is Nick Dutch Tarot. Okay? I also pointed out what I use this for, namely to assist people in having conversations about things which they find is difficult, and they can use that to get some stuff out of their system. And I've also used this before as a form of cult exit counseling. I've also used this to make it less likely that some people who are getting a psychic addiction, addicted to psychic lines all the time, will actually spend less money on this service. Because I don't want people to get addicted to this type of service, and I want people to be able to think clearly, and essentially I do have an agenda. Alright, and one of my agendas with my clients is not only to make them smile, but as I build the relationship with them, to be able to slowly deal with some of the issues that they've got, so that those issues can kind of like become less, and they can become less obsessive and more focused on real life, and get on and get by. I carry on saying that, there's only one person who's responsible for your life, and that's you. I say that to my customers, which is very contrary to the image of the standard, professional psychic reader. Okay? Completely different to that particular image. Now, why do I do this? I do this because I actually care for the sanity and the physical health and the mental health of the people I'm talking to, okay? And I'm doing this because I'm actually being put into a position through being in the psychic division of the entertainment industry, whereby people will come to me with certain varieties of issues which they wouldn't come to me with if I was a professional counselor. Alright, people discuss with their psychics the things that they don't discuss with their counselor. They feel more confident and more comfortable discussing these things with a professional psychic rather than someone who is a professional counselor. This is what my experience has shown me, okay? So I'm using this in a very, I would say, positive and useful way to try and help people out. But essentially that's not really my point in this particular video here today. That's not my point at all. My point is that there's lots of irrational people in this world, or people who call themselves irrational, who seem to forget that it's actually irrational to believe that there are only two sides to every story. There are people out there who think it is perfectly feasible to believe what they believe and strawman the opposition, rather than trying to work out where the benefits of what the other person is trying to do could actually lie. Now, I've actually done some unofficial cult exit counselling during my time as a tarot reader. I've helped people get out of some very serious head-fucked cults. And I've done this just working over the internet and over the telephone, helping people out. Alright? Not as a counsellor. People that, this individual in question didn't come to me because I was a cult exit counsellor or because I was a counsellor. She came to me purely because I was a professional tarot reader. And what happened is, I gave her clarity and rationality, and I helped her move further forward. I felt people who were in very bad relationships, who couldn't see they were in very bad relationships, just get a bit more understanding about that and take control of a situation. This is the good that I can do. Now, I can do this good not because I have a brass plate up on my door with like all the letters of the alphabet after it, saying, the word counsellor in big letters, or I'm part of a counselling organisation. I do it because I'm actually in the entertainment industry. I'm placed in a better position to do good right now than I would be if I was a professional within the counselling industries. Taking into account the kind of people that I feel for, the kind of people who I wanted to be able to help. Now, a lot of the people who are in this particular case, let's say the atheist community, have had some bad experiences with religious groups. Now, you can do what you're doing at the moment, and maybe that would help some people to try and get out of a certain mentality. That would be great. Well, I'm also helping people to deal with bad experiences they have with religious and spiritual groups as well. But ironically, I'm doing it because I'm a tarot reader. Ironically, I'm doing it because I'm here within the New Age world. And on top of that, alright, when I think about like the supernaturalist side of things, the other things that I, in inverted commas, believe in, that I get criticized for an awful lot, I get people private messaging me and say, oh, how come you believe in magical thinking? I suppose you believe in this, that, and the other. Well, to those people, I would have to say, fuck you. And the reason I would have to say that is going back to my earliest days here on YouTube, I created a little playlist, which I strongly recommend you go and watch. Go to my channel page, literally do it. After this video, go to my channel page, go to the playlist section, and then go to the video playlist called The Magician's Code, and you'll see me looking about 3 years younger, speaking out my statement of intent as to what I believe all of this New Age occult stuff really is about. Alright? And you will see that what I'm talking about there is experimentation, personal experimentation, into something which is, or could be roughly regarded as being ESP. That is it, experimentation. Not standing here and saying, I am the great Merlin, I can cure you of every disease on the face of the planet, I can walk on water, I know your thoughts. No. But experimentation to experience something which is a little strange. And the importance of this side of things is because it says something about us as human beings, because we have the capacity to experience these things, and some of these things I have experienced, and that is why I am what I am. If you don't like that, fine, you got your own taste. But remember, there's more than two sides to every story. Nick Dutch out.